Could it be the end of the federal government's hybrid work era? At least one union is addressing rumors and a leaked document that suggests public servants could be returning to the office 5 days a week in the relatively near future. Good afternoon. This is CTV News at 5. I'm Stefan Keys. We begin with many public servants trying to get answers on what could be a big blow to their work life. The Canadian Association of Professional Employees confirms to CTV it is looking into rumors and strong speculation that the Treasury Board could be looking to put an end to telework, aka the hybrid model currently in place. Documents have been leaked to French media, and La Presse suggests senior management could be in the office 5 days a week as early as this January, with other public servants in office full-time in July, and that every federal worker would be in an office 5 days a week by January 2027, something the union says it is struggling to get a straight answer on.
I think it's been policy on the fly on this file for years now, and I think that means that there's probably interest behind the scenes that are really pushing this. Landlords, who knows? But the fact that they're not able to come out and defend their position on it, just like they didn't really defend their position when they forced us back 3 days a week, we're seeing a bit of a cascade effect now. The question is always, why are we doing this?
In response to CTV, a spokesperson for the Treasury Board president writes, the direction on prescribed presence in the workplace has not changed. We have no further information to share. Ottawa Chargers head coach Carla Macleod is sharing that she will be undergoing treatment for breast cancer. Macleod disclosing her breast cancer diagnosis in a team meeting on Sunday before announcing the news on social media. Macleod has been leading the Ottawa Charge since the Professional Women's Hockey League began in 2023. Now she is stepping back to take care of her health.
And obviously releasing this information, we knew there would be a time, and I thought there'd be like a little social media post and maybe like one or two comments, maybe from my mom and sister. But the overwhelming outpouring of kindness to me has really humbled me.
Macleod says she will start treatment this week, but it will mean she will miss the Chargers' next game, which will be on Tuesday night against Minnesota. Assistant coach Haley Irwin will stand in her place during her absence. A major overnight fire in Hawkesbury has left dozens of residents displaced. The Ontario Provincial Police are now investigating the blaze as an arson. The fire broke out late Saturday night at an apartment building on Portland Avenue, affecting 30 units. 3 people were treated for minor injuries, but everyone made it out safely. Many tenants say they escaped with only moments to spare.
We grabbed everybody we could, animals, put on coats and quickly, the kids. I think I literally had underwear, this, and shoes on.
Depending on the nature and the size of the disaster or the number of housing units are affected, the Red Cross can only accommodate or pay for a certain amount. After that, depending on the size, it has to be reimbursed by the social services departments.
The Red Cross is helping residents with shelter and gift cards who are now spread across local hotels waiting to find out what comes next. The Crown is seeking a 2-year jail sentence for the man who vandalized the National Holocaust Monument earlier this year. Ian Aspenleider pleaded guilty to mischief to a war memorial in July. His lawyer says that his client has lost his job, will have a criminal record, and the time in jail he has already served should be a sufficient sentence. Today, the court heard from organizations and members of Ottawa's Jewish community about the impact of the vandalism. Aspenleider admitted to splashing red paint and writing the words "Feed me" on the monument around 3 a.m. on June 9th. A sentencing date has not yet been set. Turning now to Lansdowne 2.0, where construction is slated to get underway this week. But as work begins, questions and concerns continue to hover over the city's mega project. CTV's Austin Lee joins us live now with more on this. Austin.
Well, Stefan, there are some construction trucks that remain in place in Lansdowne Park tonight. They've been there since this weekend, but little work has actually begun. Soon, however, work on the first phase of the project will be more visible. The city says that will focus on the new event center, installing fencing and setting up a site trailer. This is a project that carries a price tag of nearly $420 million, and when it's all wrapped up, Lansdowne Park will be home to an additional 770 condo units, a new, smaller arena, and new north side stands for TD Place Stadium. While many support the plan, not everyone is fully on board.
I don't think it's necessary. I think it will bring too many people down here and take away from the charm that so many people in Ottawa enjoy. The parks for the kids.
I love the space. I know it needs to be bigger, but I do sympathize with the charge as well. Losing seats.
Construction of the new event center is slated to be complete by 2028, with work on the north side stands scheduled to be done by 2030. And also important to note here, there are no planned detours or road closures during the first phase of construction, and access to the underground parking garage in the area will continue as normal. Stefan.
Thank you for this, Austin. Appreciate the update. Over at Rideau Hall today, Prime Minister Mark Carney shuffled his cabinet, and a familiar face from the Justin Trudeau era is back. Mark Miller was appointed Minister of Canadian Identity and Culture, as well as Minister responsible for official languages. He last served as Minister of Immigration under Trudeau. Carney made two other changes. Minister of Government Transformation, Public Works and Procurement, Joel Lightbound, will also now take on the role of Quebec Lieutenant, while Environment Canada and Climate Change, Minister Julie Dabrouzin will also assume the Nature and Parks Canada file. The shuffle comes after Thursday's resignation of Stephen Guilbeault. He stepped down from cabinet just hours after the federal government announced its energy deal with Alberta. Meanwhile, the Canadian steel industry had been dealt another major blow. Algoma Steel confirming today it has issued layoff notices for about 1,000 workers. In a statement, Algoma Steel says it has been significantly impacted by the unprecedented tariffs imposed by the United States. As a result, the company is closing its blast furnace and coke making operations and transitioning to electric car steel making. Year earlier than planned, the company is based in Sault Ste. Marie. The layoffs will take effect in late March. Back in September, it was announced the company would receive $500 million in federal and provincial loan assistance to help deal with the impacts of the U.S. tariffs.
They're going to reward retailers who deliver transparent pricing, compelling promotions.
Coming up on CTV News at 5, from Black Friday to Cyber Monday, as shoppers are clicking on deals, are consumers prioritizing Buy Canadian? And here's our Jackie Perez out at a Toy Mountain location for us. Jackie.
Thanks so much, Stefan. Yes, today we are at the Walmart Barrhaven on Strand Herd. So we'll be hanging out here for the next few hours. And on the drive here, couldn't help but notice mainly clear skies, but very cold conditions. And this will carry on into our evening. Right now, temperatures sitting around about -10. But when you factor in the wind chill, feeling closer to -13, slightly warmer, closer to Kingston and by the water, -5, about -7 in Brockville and Cornwall. But again, these cooler Arctic winds are going to be sticking around for quite a bit. Flurries and light periods of snow are on the way for tomorrow. We will have these details and much more in just a bit. But for now, we'll take it back to you in studio.
Thank you, Jackie. Here's what you need to know. The Ottawa 67s are on home ice this Friday night when they take on the Barrie Colts. Puck drop at TD Place Arena is at 7 p.m. Visit the 67's website for tickets. A live check on traffic right now, taking a look at the drive home this afternoon. We're seeing some major backups westbound on the 417 between Parkdale and Woodruff. 30 minutes of bumper-to-bumper traffic there. Moderate delays eastbound between St. Laurent and the Split. You're watching CTV News at 5. The Bell Media building is lit bigger and brighter this year thanks to our friends at Christmas Decor from Nutrilon. Retailers say Canadians are clicking and buying at a strong pace this Cyber Monday. But as deals roll in, many shoppers are weighing whether to continue to buy Canadian or simply chase the lowest price. CTV's Josh Morano joins us live with more on this, Josh.
Yes, the fan shoppers I spoke with today say they're being more selective with what makes the final cart. And with tighter budgets, that means less Canadian-made products as they hunt for the best deals. According to a survey released by the Retail Council of Canada, which interviews 2,500 Canadians ahead of the holiday season, 86% of them say they plan to shop close to home and support local, but price is still the most important factor, and they will look for sales and cheaper alternatives during the gift-giving season.
They're going to reward retailers who deliver transparent pricing, compelling promotions, seamless in-store and online experience. So that's the most important. So I'd say overall we are seeing a softening on that movement, but it's still there as importance, but they'll still choose price as the decision factor.
The council adds it spoke to some local retailers over the weekend who say sales were good, but they're cautiously optimistic about the rest of the holiday season. And again, some shoppers I spoke with today echoed this, saying when it comes to buying gifts in bulk, it's easier on their wallets to search for discounted items instead of the Made in Canada logo. Stefan.
All right, CTV's Josh Morano reporting for us. Thank you, Josh. Well, from consumer to health news now, cold and flu season has hit Canada, and cases are spiking in many areas. Health practitioners are bracing for what could be a bad influenza season. CTV's Scott Hurst explains.
Influenza is beginning to surge in Canada with the calendar flipping to a new month and the winter weather settling in. It is a sure sign that cold and flu season is coming along with it. And the numbers are already starting to back that up. According to the latest national surveillance data from Health Canada, cases are trending upwards. Influenza detections topped 2,100 in the past week of reporting, up from fewer than 1,400 the week before, putting the percentage of positive tests up to 8.1%. Now, there have been warnings that this year's flu vaccine may not be as strong of a match compared to previous years. The current vaccine does, in fact, target some of the strains circulating in Canada, but the World Health Organization has reported recent changes and mutations to the H3N2 strain, and that is why there is a mismatch in at least one of the strains targeted by the vaccine. However, the best advice, according to medical experts, is that it can still guard against the development of severe illness. Here's more from Dr. Christopher Labos on the importance of getting the vaccine.
Even when the vaccine is not a perfect match for the circulating strains, it does still provide a fairly good degree of protection. Worth remembering that things don't have to be perfect in order to be useful, and the influenza vaccine, even when it's not perfect, is still pretty useful because it's giving you the coverage against 3 of the most likely circulating strains.
The warning of a potentially bad flu year has hospital staff bracing for what could be an intense influenza season. Coupled with cases of RSV and COVID, it could mean a wave of respiratory illnesses that put added strain on an already burdened healthcare system. Scott Hurst, CTV News, Toronto.
And the hands come out. Rachel Holman will go to Cortina.
Coming up on CTV News at 5, a big win for Ottawa's Rachel Homan, heading to Italy this winter, hoping to come home with her first Olympic medal. Coming up later tonight on CTV after the news tracker starts at 7, St. Denis Medical at 8, The Big Bang Theory at 8:30, followed by an episode of The Voice, and then The Weakest Link. Now for another check on the weather forecast, let's go back live to Jackie, who is at Toy Mountain in Barrhaven.
Yes, Stefan, lots of production and productivity underway as we continue to help build a toy mountain. Kind of glad we're staying indoors, though, because it is very chilly outside and brisk, and that will continue over the next several days where we will be below seasonal temperatures for our overnights. Taking a look at temperatures right now, here's a live look through our Centennial Glass Sky Cam showcasing Parliament Hill, and the sun already setting -9, but when you factor in the wind chill, it's feeling closer to about -12, -13. And here's a closer look at what we could expect into the evening and the overnight hours. Wind chill getting down to about -15 around 9 o'clock, and then midnight, sure, it'll slightly warm up with temperatures about -9, mainly cloudy skies. But then tomorrow we're going to anticipate periods of slight light snow moving in, starting things off about -7. It will warm up to about -3. But with a mix of sun and clouds. So we anticipate that we have periods of light snow moving through in the morning, and then it's going to taper off into the afternoon and into the evening with clear skies. But for now, when we look towards the valley, cloudy skies, -10 overnight, daytime high of -2 with a chance of flurries moving through. And as we look towards our friends at Kingston, it's going to be periods of snow, especially in the mid-morning to the afternoon, and we're getting to about the freezing mark is the daytime high, so slightly warmer. Here's a closer look at what we can expect for the conditions. You can see a lot more snow. The chances are greater around Kingston and Brockville around Tuesday morning. Light flurries moving through for here in Ottawa. It's going to clear out by the evening, mainly cloudy skies. It's going to clear up for the overnight into Wednesday, where we may start off with some clearer conditions, but then by Wednesday evening, we could see the return of some light flurries and potentially some freezing rain close to the seaway. Here's a closer look at the next 5 days. I did talk about the colder temperatures. So normally this time of year, overnight it's going to be about -5, but we're seeing -11 for the overnight lows. The warmest day will likely be about Friday, -1 the daytime high, and then overnight about -8. But really, you're going to want to bundle up because it's going to be very cold. Chance of flurries really moving through, but for the most part, it will be comfortable conditions in terms of not much in freezing rain or rain. However, you're going to want to layer up, Stefan, because -14 to -15, not loving that weather so much.
I know. Not a lot of people would. Thank you, Jackie. Here's a look at the stories you are checking out right now on ctvnewsottawa.ca. Everything we have spoken about so far, we have you covered. If you go to our homepage, though, perhaps you want to look beyond the winter season. Calabogie, Ontario's Guitars and Gasoline Music Festival is announcing its lineup for 2026. So if you're looking forward to music festival season next year, you can already get excited about some of the names on the lineup. So if you go to our website, you can find all the details, ctvnewsottawa.ca. Folks like Dallas Smith, the Glorious Sons, Default, the Northern Pikes, Brett Kitzel, Finger 11, and Haley Benedict all coming to that festival. Coming up here on CTV News at 5.
It's so fun to see the Red Blacks down here, like all this gear that we can buy.
A special tradition at TD Place as the Ottawa Red Blacks open the locker room to fans. If you need gas tonight, one of today's cheapest gas prices can be found at the Ultramar station on Eagleson Road in Canada. Regular gas there is going for 119.9 cents a litre. We'll be right back.
The magic of the holidays is here, and this year the need is greater than ever.
Let's ensure every child in our community feels the joy with CTV and Move 100's Toy Mountain.
Together with the Salvation Army, we can help spread cheer and make a child's wish come true.
Drop off any new unwrapped toy to the designated drop-off locations or make a monetary donation online.
For all the details, visit toymountain.ca, presented by Donnelly Automotive Group.
Get the latest live local breaking news. Sign up now for our morning and evening CTV News Ottawa newsletter. The best local content from CTV News, Your Morning Ottawa, and News Talk 580 CFRA. Get it all in one place. Sign up now at ctvnewsottawa.ca. The CTV News Ottawa newsletter is brought to you in part by CAA Business.
Here's a live look at our Centennial Glass Sky Cam. The current temperature is -10. Factor in that wind chill, it feels more like -13. Time now for a look ahead to CTV News at 6. Here's Patricia Bull.
Well, thanks for that. Wind chill and all, Steph. Appreciate it. Here's what we're working on tonight for 6 o'clock.
The fact that they're not able to come out and defend their position on it, just like they didn't really defend their position when they forced us back 3 days a week. We're seeing a bit of a cascade effect now.
Well, could an updated return to office mandate be coming for federal public servants? We'll have the latest on what federal unions are hearing about potential changes to the hybrid work model.
But the overwhelming outpouring of kindness to me has really humbled me.
The hockey community and everyone beyond rallying around Ottawa Charge head coach Carla Macleod. She is starting treatment this week following a recent diagnosis of breast cancer.
Generally, it's a portfolio that you like to hand to a Quebecer because of the sensitivity of culture and other matters.
A shake-up on Parliament Hill. Prime Minister Mark Carney shuffles his cabinet following the resignation of Stephen Guilbeault, bringing back a familiar face from the Justin Trudeau era. All of that and more is coming up tonight on CTV News at 6. That's right after the early edition of CTV National News with Sandy Ronaldo at 5:30. Steph.
Thank you, Patricia. Now the final 5 other stories we're following. The University of Ottawa marking a milestone today, installing its first ever female president and vice chancellor, Marie-Ève Sylvestre.
Now install you as the president of the University of Ottawa and invest you with the authority.
A special ceremony was held this afternoon to formally welcome Sylvestre into the role. Back in June, the university announced she would be succeeding Jacques Fremont in the position he had held since 2016. Sylvestre has been with the university since 2005.
I'm very excited, and I'm very happy that I'm able to do it. And this is something, you know, as the spirit of a holiday that we are sharing with the people in need and the people going through a difficult time.
A business owner and city councillor in Kingston is serving up pizza slices ahead of the holidays for those who are most in need. Project Santa Slices is in its 5th year. Jimmy Hassan says the need has grown significantly. He is looking to supply 6,000 slices to community shelters and kitchens throughout December. Hassan says he needs help to do so. He's calling on people to donate towards that goal if they can.
Needs the floor, don't go too far, and she'll spill away. And the hands come out. Rachel Holman will go to Cortina.
Team Homan is officially heading to the 2026 Winter Olympics in Italy. They dominated at the Montana's Canadian curling trials over the weekend, beating Nova Scotia's Christina Black 12-3 to qualify for the Winter Games. 2 members of the team, Rachel Homan and Emma Miskew, are both from Ottawa. This will be Homan's 3rd trip to the Olympics, and she is hoping to win her first Olympic medal. Quebec drivers take note. As of today, tires rated for winter use are legally required in Quebec until March 15th. Fines for having the incorrect tires on any road vehicle range from $200 to $300, and police say they will be doing spot checks to look for a special snowflake symbol on car wheels indicating they are suitable for winter driving.
It's cool to, see everyone kind of come into our house and really get to experience the locker room. And of course, it's cool to just, chat with people and kind of get their feeling on, the season and whatever it is they want to talk about.
The Ottawa Redblacks opened their locker room to the public on Sunday for their annual end-of-season sale. Fans came out for a chance to get their hands on some game-worn equipment and unique merchandise at discounted prices. Fans also had the opportunity to interact with some of the players. That is CTV News at 5. I'm Span Keys. Thank you so much for watching National Star.